Celebration time. It don't matter what part of the jewel they come from. You da you and me da me. But guess what? All are we the one.
She has been called the original Kriol gial, and while she calls herself a Kriol activist, Sylvanna Udz is so much more. She is, among other things, an educator, author, and businesswoman. We will have our conversation with her as she went into details on what spurred her passion to advocate for the Kriol language. We will have that for you after this break to hear from our partners, Del Martin, Silkgrass Farms, The Barry, and Minister Kevin Bernard.
At Silkgrass Farms, we believe in more than just growing food. We're cultivating a future. Across 9,000 acres in the foothills of the Maya Mountains, our family of farms grows a vibrant array of crops: coconuts, citrus, cacao, watermelons, avocados. But our mission goes beyond harvests. Through sustainable agriculture, we are not just growing crops, we're strengthening ecosystems and reversing the impacts of climate change. Silkgrass Farms is a part of a global movement, transforming modern food systems into living stories of nutrition, nature, and people. From our fields to your table, every product tells a story of health and hope for the future.
The Barry is your one-stop store of choice. We have an array of electronics and accessories to keep you connected. Your home will be the envy of your friends when you choose from a wide variety of household appliances. We can help you dress the entire family in style and comfort with our selection of clothing and footwear. Visit our store on Albert Street in Belize City, San Pedro, La Isla Bonita, Park Street in Orange Walk Town, Belmopan, and San Ignacio, Santa Elena. The Barry, get more, pay less.
Orange Walk, the future is brighter. Since Kevin Bernard became your representative, progress has never stopped, with Plan Belize 2.0 leading the way. In Palmar, 2 main roads have been paved. The main road that passes through Tower Hill Village has been paved, connecting our community. In Tan Pine Ridge, the entire road has been paved, a major step forward. And every month, new roads are being paved in Orange Walk East. Kevin Bernard is committed to building a stronger Orange Walk East, one road at a time. Together, we're moving forward. Kevin is the people's champion.
Celebration time. It don't matter what part of the jewel they come from. You da you and me da me. But guess what? All are we the one.
And on Belize Watch today, we have the honor and privilege of interviewing a well-known Belizean. Everybody know her as Kriol gial. Udz, instead of Woods, UDS, Udz. Ita Kriol a lot. As a matter of fact, I know you don't want to do this interview in a Kriol, but when I try to do it in English. Of course, you know I'm talking about Sylvanna Udz, the one and only Sylvanna Udz. Sylvanna, thank you for agreeing to talk with us, and let's get to know you better. You know, let's start from the very beginning, Sylvanna. From who is Sylvanna Udz?
Well, first of all, I Udz UDZ.
You may legally change the name from WOODS to UDZ?
2009. Dean Lindo, the late Dean Linda me do it for me free because I mean just do the cricket, lovely cricket editing for his book, let on the history of cricket, and he also may always support the Kriol project when nobody may support it. He not drop $100 for we got us some booth, drop on X 100 for got our next booth with me, Myrna, Miss Leela, brother David, then days, the late Ruby Perriott. So yeah, and other people I know I forget right from back then.
Yeah. And so that led to you changing the name from WOODS to UDS, Sylvanna Udz.
Actually, you know, Renee, when I decided to change my name, that I not believe me, but I asked my papa permission and me done dead.
How you ask her permission I done that, Sylvanna?
Because now at the Rumble now, so stop me like how you are the director. And for the audience, I know Rene since Rene gave me my start in broadcasting because he had laryngitis one day. And I was working in the library for try make summer money. And I don't know if you remember, Rene, when you couldn't talk.
Yes.
Because you had laryngitis, and I was terrified, and I said no, and you put on the paper. Well, I was so afraid. I put, "Hello, my name is Sylvanna Udz." I had to read that at the time. I'm so nervous. You said, but remember, nobody, they aren't in the room. They aren't seeing you. It was radio, right? Yes. But it was still frightening. But once I overcame that fear, largely due to you and people like Gertrude Smith, and the same late Mr. Atelson Sanchez from the library, and then I realized, wow, I seem to like this.
So you came to Radio Belize really as a young 16-year-old to do office practice, right?
In the library, with big records, to do filing of records. I wanted a job, and the late Everald Waite Sr. Was the chief broadcasting officer. You were fresh back from studying somewhere. BBC. And you and Ernesto Vasquez and Hugh Fuller Jr. had a show, Teen Beat. No TV then days, remember? Everybody at the radio. And so you all were like, I know me don't married, but you all were the hot people around town. You know, everybody want to meet Rene, want to meet Ernesto. One of my friends may want to meet Hugh Fuller Jr. And so I may end up the Radio Belize because he had to go with somebody for telling me to go wherever, right? After school. And then talking and so on. I think the late Enrique David Martinez as well, and Hipólito Bautista, again the late. They were working in newsroom, and they were saying, you could be on. I said, I can't work in there yet. No, we'll start in the library. And I needed a job. I want some job. And I worked in the library, and then Fun Time, as I mentioned, because you had laryngitis.
Yes. I remember when I had to look for somebody to do Fun Time. Yeah, and I came to you and I said, well, I wasn't the presenter, but I needed a presenter that morning, right? And I said, you could do it. And you said, no, frightened. I said, no, come, let's go. Right behind the microphone. And I guess the rest is history after that. I knew you could do it, right?
Well, I thank you for my start in broadcasting because it was something from which I catapulted and went on to do many more things. And self-confidence. In fact, when I was teaching once at the then Bellcast and UCB, I remember, before UB, I remember an activity I had for a grade. It was a communication skills class, and one of it was nonverbal and one was verbal, and it was building confidence when you talk. And I had asked, how many of you all have called in a radio show? Talk shows were just coming in then. Then English and Kriol, when we talk Kriol, I'm going to Kriol. So the Dickie B was the big talk show person at the time, right? He like kind of start that. And I tell you, 3 of them had the guts to actually call a talk show, tell we the day and time that they do it so we could listen in. I said, just wait if you can't get in, right? No cell phone in days, remember? And that was and they all got A. One of them said, Miss, I was trembling. And then one of them didn't. 4 should have said they would. One put down the phone because I talk on radio. I'll be talking on radio. So that is a big thing, you know. Now it seems so easy, everybody with a smartphone. But it really was a way to build self-confidence. Because you also had to be aware of your manners. You couldn't curse bad word and anything like that.
I think for folks to understand how controlled radio was in those days, right? We have to, I would like to go back a little bit to an experience that I had that, I was always revolutionary as you know. So not about you, but I just wanted to add to what you're saying. We wanted to sort of get the human voice on the radio, the listeners on the radio. So we started a show by the name of Coca-Cola Musical Quiz. I don't know if you remember that. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. We started a Coca-Cola Musical Quiz, and people would exchange the stoppers of Coca-Cola for a card, and from that card we would call. So that was the first calling presentation, public calling presentation allowed on Radio Belize, right? And that's a little bit of backing up what you're saying, that everything was controlled.
I remember when the band songs, like, I guess I could say it now, a song by Case Cool and Push, Push in the Bush and something like that.
Well, that's obvious why.
Yeah, that's why. But the band, a couple other songs to that had maybe not as much. It was a little more restricted than now, because now you hear all kinds of stuff.
At that time, the then premier would ban anything that had reference to Guatemala in it.
That's true.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So that was that you couldn't play a song that said, like, for example, Lord Raymond song that he has a Que rica mi Guatemala in the middle of it, Moon River, I think one of those songs there, right? And Tropico Ritmo, right? That couldn't be played because the singer in it said Que rica mi Guatemala, and so we couldn't play that. But those were the old days, and there you were in the library.
I was in the library. They used to splice tapes, I remember, in those days. Like now, when you want to edit, it's all digital, but it was analog, and you had to splice the tapes.
Let's go back to Sylvanna Udz now. Sylvanna Udz was born in Belize City.
Yes.
Take me from there.
Old Belize City Hospital, 1960. 1960, 1 year later, Hurricane Hattie. My family always carry we for summer vacations and any kind of vacation, Easter, you have to go find an next part of Belize. Because all of we people, only brothers, don't migrate. And he refused. He said navel string buried here. He may actually born in Honduras as accident of birth that the parents may actually there in Honduras because logging or whatever they may do.
The connection there.
Yes, so then he came back and had the papers, but so it's a Belizean, right? Yeah, to a bone. So yeah, he said no, in navel string buried, yeah, but metaphorically and physically it was there. But they said no, man, and he refused to migrate. And one of my sister later years said, Pa, why you never do that, Daddy? Well, when I set up, either like he. I don't want to migrate. In fact, in Taiwan, where I was for the last 7 years, up to 3 years ago, they do research and teaching. I was, because of COVID, eligible for the APRC, which is like your green card in Taiwan. And I got it because I was just stuck there, and it was easier to then have it, for getting jobs at my own. But I gave it up. When it was up, I came back to Belize, and then after 2 years, if you didn't write to go back to extend your stay, you lose it. So virtually, we can enter Taiwan anyway. And I lost it because I just know I want to live here. I know I might regret to say this, but if the masses have to suffer that KHMH, then, and then they suffer sometimes, because for trauma and give some of the best thing, I want to there with them, because to me, I have this social justice thing, Renee, to me detriment in terms of money making.
but let's get back now to Sylvanna Udz, because Udz in there.
No.
So, but talk to me about your ma and your pa before you continue.
Well, my ma come from St. Paul's Bank. They placed me in Cocklaugh, but they said when the priests used to go there, they never want to say Cocklaugh, so they changed it to St. Paul's Bank. That is the story, right? And so my pa, remember, they go with Uncle Polly, now dead, of course, pushing the dory over one bank because, of course, no road back then.
Charlie Woods was your dad?
Not the ex-priest.
No.
Because we had a Charlie Woods who was ex-priest.
Yeah.
Yes. Charles Woods, at one time, he was the registrar of cooperatives. He was at Belinsco. He had the farm Valley Stream Ranch. But most of all, my father, just one solid, good dad, one good man. Education, you could get away with anything if you said you study for one test. Because education is my priority. In a we house, Reader's Digest in days, you saw a competition. Who finished the something just for laughs? Laughter is the best medicine.
Laughter is the best medicine.
Yes. Then they had this thing with, I am Joe's ear, I am Joe's mouth, I am Joe's whatever in a story telling about anatomy. Who finished that first? Me and my sister Charlene with the tea dinner tea. Taito, who done that first, right? We grew up in a way where you had to go to church every Sunday and, Catholic school. So we'd go to church, although sometime when Birdseye may start up, between you and me and the rest of the world, 1, 2, 3 times we say we made it at church, bring back the program, we're going to jump up the Birdseye.
Oh, so now we know the story.
That's why we live Paris Coast Street. Well, Daddy gone now, and Mommy no, mine I said that now, I'm sure. All right. And so that's when get into things like the St. Ignatius had that revival thing with Father, whole charismatic movement. Yeah, and then I really grew up thinking my goal in life, I want to open an orphanage. If you ask my parents, that was my thing. I want to grow up and open an orphanage. But somewhere, and it was because I want to teach the children that they're good, that no worry that their mommy and daddy can't have them. But somehow that got channeled into teaching down the road. Yeah. Maybe that after they realized that they teach a lot through media, and then the classroom teaching gone on for them, degrees and whatnot.
Okay, so you went to St. Catherine's Academy. That's when you went to do the time at Radio Belize, right?
Yes.
When we met at Radio Belize, and then you were sitting at the desk in the library, and then I remember it very good. I came in and asked that you do fun time, but you rose to the challenge. You started doing fun time, and you did fun time for quite some time after that, right? Fun time, for folks who might not know, fun time was the children's program that came on every morning at 7:15 on Radio Belize. At that time, I was assistant program organizer, so that's why I came to you and asked you to do fun time for me.
Rene, do people still write letters? I don't know. Maybe because then there was BCB, then not BCB. People used to, I remember the Cruz family, Miss Ione Cruz, if she's still around, used to write in. We used to do requests. They could visit you when they come Saturday once a month or whatever to the city. You felt important. You may feel like big time when you may work on radio.
Yes, you had that. Everything was by letter because I guess they said the phone was very scarce. And when you get your letters, you would always stack them up at the back. If you can remember, there were boxes at the back. And you would stack up your letters. And Fun Time had quite an amount of correspondence.
And so did Women's World down the road. I remember Gertrude Smith, I took that over when she went away and then went into continuity and news. I always remember one time, folks, there is primary and secondary ignorance. Primary ignorance, you know what you don't know, so you go and check. Well, then days when you get the news, come off ticker tape and stuff too, you had to read it. You go in early enough, half hour, and you read it, make sure you could pronounce everything, or you check out how to pronounce it. But if you don't, secondary ignorance, you don't know that you don't know how to pronounce it. So you don't check. So I'm in the room, in the newsroom, the studio, reading, the Methodists had a SYNOD. Synod. But Sylvanna think that's synod. So she know check with Enrique David Martinez, the news editor at the time, how you pronounce it. I just know I know for pronounce it. So I want the headlines first. And today the Methodist synod, so I said this deliberately, people, synod met blah, blah, blah. When they come back now for the story, Enrique David Martinez creep into the room silently, and he point at the word. So I think, I'm not emphasizing it enough. No TV, so he could point at it. And I said, the Methodist synod. Well, Everall wait down there on the phone or use the Sasha to say, that announcer is pronouncing that word wrong. It's synod. Well, once I learned that, after I did continuity, after in the what you call it, you come back to the headlines. I made sure, because then there was a commercial, and he said synod. So things like that, when you don't know, you don't know. It takes experience to even recognize, hey, I don't even know this word.
Yeah, those are fun days at Radio Belize, because I can remember correcting you several times as well.
Yes.
Right, and telling you this is the way you do this is the way you do that. But you were a good learner, I must say that. And it's good that I have the opportunity to tell you that.
Thank you. And little things you learn, like...
moved on.
Yeah, like hurricane. When there was a hurricane, warning and watch. You don't want to excite the people. And I remember the first time I was in charge of running continuity, but the real hurricane, not the startup yet. Some of the big people like couldn't not come in. So they have me, they run, the government will advise when the next flag. And I must have said something or panicked people. Well, the fires of hell came down on me. No, you need objective. Come, you're just delivering the news. That was a good learning I got. That was the objective, the distance you need.
Know that very well. Let's move on from your career, your brief career in radio broadcasting. What next? What happened after that?
In between, then I went to do my bachelor's, and then I went to do my master's in 1986-87. Now, when I was a Fulbright scholar through Dr. Mahong, Belkas at the time, they were getting staff upgraded. Well, I came back to work as required, and guess what? I got a metamorphosis. I got a enlightening, the light bulb, doing my master's degree. Because I had a professor, I was doing language education.
Where did you do master's?
Indiana University, Bloomington. Now, this professor, it triggered something that occurred to me on a bus when I was in Form 2, going to Mexico City on a bus, because they didn't do braces in Belize, and my sister needed braces, or they wanted to put braces on her. So we had to go, me, her, and an older cousin went on the bus to Mexico to get these braces done. They couldn't do it yet in Belize. And it stopped at all these stops on the way to Mexico City. And at one stop, all the time I would get correction, no S on the verb, S on the verb. This is Form 2. And I'm going, but wait. All of a sudden it struck me when I hear, no, you're the consulting pan the bus, right? Yo quiero this, no, él quieres, or quieres. And I go, wait, then it changed up just like English. So Christina was just teaching us Spanish then. It wasn't mandatory from primary like now. And this light bulb came on. And I said, but wait, when we did talk without that S, we never put it. That can't be right so. But then the thought went. When I was years later now doing my master's, 1987, Professor Albert Waldman, he's like a guru with Haitian Kriol. Yeah. My goodness, I was like, you are from Belize. I was his informant, because he had done all the Creoles but never met a Belize Creole original. And here I was talking Malay English. I said, no, in my office for this discussion, I want to hear the Creole. I want to hear it. And I was like treasured for having this language. And then when he started with the system, now Creology was just emerging in the late 70s, you could say 75, so as a field of study that they're not just right so. It's a language in its own right. And so this light bulb came on, and I realized, but wait, it really is systematic. He showed the morphology, or how the verbs work, how it's different from English. Sir Colville Young had just done his 1973 study on his dissertation, York University, on the Creolized English spoken in Belize and its surrounds. So George McKeesey, the Belizean lingo, is one of the sources where we use, right? I think he related to you, right?
Actually, George McKeesey influenced my career in broadcasting a lot.
Sorry, the book is old.
It's old, but I'm happy to see you have a copy of this.
Yes.
Because he was my godfather. So he influenced me a lot when it came to broadcasting.
Maybe we're related,
George McKeesey.
Maybe we're related. You know, you got family and family. Yes. We could be family.
And we could be family.
Yeah.
Right? So, yes, I remember this book very well when it came out, you know.
This book was really the first real dictionary.
It was the first Creole dictionary by George McKeesey. And, of course, we still play his Creole stories because...
Saturday mornings, I love it.
Saturday mornings. Yes. And I wish I had more of them, because I know there are more, but I can't find them. But
another thing that influenced the late 80s, early 1990, 91 thinking was looking at what existed. She's dead now, God rest her soul, Linda Cornelissen.
I remember her too.
A foreigner who came, and she said, this thing is a next language, man.
Yeah.
He said, this thing is a next language, and she collected, again, a short glossary.
Yes.
And then we looked at Belizean poets. Look at I think I See One New Belize by Philip Lewis, writing his ad hoc. There was Parrots, Hypocrite, but I'm trying to find, I think I See One New Belize, it was ad hoc, Left Me Ya, Patricia.
I remember when we used to learn the poem, we used to ask people to recite it on the radio. I think I See a New Belize by Philip Lewis. Yeah.
Yes. So these are some of the, he tried, of course they were using ad hoc spelling of Creole, right?
I remember this book too.
Yes, very old. That's like late 70s.
Actually, it was a series.
Yes, yes. So all of these influence. You know, Renee, one of the big joys, one of the big beauties is when you look to the day and you say, from the ad hoc spelling of old books like this, valuable resources, right, to this.
And
this man used the Creole dictionary for make your own book.
And I'm amazed how you keep all these historic books, Sylvanna.
You need to thank Charlene and my maka when I go away and think them take care of them for me. Yes. Right. The old history books that they had with Waddell, one of the first things, the old almanacs from Angelos.
How's Charlene doing?
Charlene doing good. Charlene doing very good.
And you have Charlene, you have Jackie.
Jackie, well, you know Jackie worked with you. Val just got her, it's no secret, Madam Speaker just got through with her operations and recuperating on the road.
Your brother?
Chuck, I have one brother. My ma had twins twice. Yeah, fraternal twins. So we have Jackie, Jenny, Mel, and Val. Are the twins, Chuck.
Jenny, what's Jenny doing?
Jenny's doing okay, and Debbie is still working. She's at Angelos. She manages Angelos. She's an excellent sales rep. Charlene, Sylvanna, Debbie, Jenny, Jackie, Chuck. And then there's my daughter, Robin, for whom I do everything. I mean, when she's now pregnant, Renee, I can't wait to be a grandmother.
Sylvanna Udz operated her advertising agency, Kriol Gial Productions, from 1991 to 2005. Throughout the years, she continued her work advocating for the Creole language, and when we come back, she shares some of that journey. We step aside to hear from our partners, Del Martin, Silkgrass Farm, DeBarry, and Minister Kevin Bernard.
Jump and shout all over the nation. Breaking out with a new creation. It's been too long.
Introducing Silkgrass Farms cold pressed juices, 100% natural with zero additives, no added sugar, made only from the freshest fruits. Silkgrass Farms, pure, fresh, sustainable.
DeBarry is your one-stop store of choice. We have an array of electronics and accessories to keep you connected. Your home will be the envy of your friends when you choose from a wide variety of household appliances. We can help you dress the entire family in style and comfort with our selection of clothing and footwear. Visit our store on Albert Street in Belize City, San Pedro, La Isla Bonita, Park Street in Orange Walk Town, Belmopan, and San Ignacio, Santa Elena. DeBarry, get more, pay less.
Well, my name is Wilson Perez, better known as Chato. I'm the organizer and the president of the New Horizons Sporting Club. In 2022, we had the award and the sponsorship, full sponsorship from the Minister of Health. And now it is the fourth year that he is year after year sponsoring the tournament, and then it is something that has facilitated and eased the job for me, so that I could have a easier and tournament and organizing when it comes to the Mundialito, which is a tournament that exists for the 22 years in Orange Walk, being the oldest district with the tournament. That is a tournament that we do to keep kids off the streets, to help them, to keep them in positive activities. We have to give credit where it's due, and we have to applaud and thank these people who do the initiative, have the initiative, and help the people and the youth to grow in whatever skills they have.
Celebration time. It don't matter what part of the jewel they come from. You that you and me that me. But guess what? All are we the one.
Yes, Sylvanna. So it's good to be reminiscing and so about the family and the old times. Now this book you had in your hand by E. Cayetano.
Yes, from numbers to drawing to coloring. But why this is so important? I hope he still do it, sell it, is at Boots, is because he used the first Creole dictionary. Well, that is say like the second, except the second got more thing, to make this He never checked with me. He do it.
Yeah.
Then when I met him and they said you could just check, he had, I think, 1 or 2 things. This man truly believed in the spelling system. He knew that, gut feeling before name explain the science to him. He may know. Another one when me got know, George Gab, the late great.
I remember George Gab very well. He was a good friend of mine.
George Gab come up to my office one day. He said, them people, I don't know who he made it talk about, want publish me writings, he said. But Creole Girl Productions, I want to use that spelling system because you can't get culture without language. Yes. That thing was a story. We wrote up about it. And so for the Creole parts of his book, Naked Eye, because some are the Creole proverbs. He said, we have all the proverbs on Calvin Young, but they're new proverbs. They're not new like modern new, but proverbs where we have to keep them up. And he came up with things of what was happening, like 50 cents, 5 million in a bank good, but it can't buy you 50-cent street snow cones, you know, like you need it in a hand, money. Yeah. And he came up with the new sidewalks were just coming in. And something he have there about the sidewalks, but he wanted it in the correct spelling. This was pre-2002. I had Creole Girl Media Productions then. And he came to me. I felt so humbled. That man became my mentor. George Gab. And so I took on the task of doing Naked Eye. A little small volume. I gave back the copyright upon his death to his sons because I always felt they need to own that. And this system, though, that has in the Creole parts of it, the proverbs, it was the pre-2002 system because with the Creole writing system, we first had a glossary. And the glossary, we had to go around and check. Yeah.
You're showing me books that we're all familiar with.
Because you all covered it. You know, without the media, a lot of things no may happen.
Yeah, well, go ahead.
All right, so this is the Creole glossary. So we gone around. This is me, Myrna, Leela, and people like that at the time. They go around to Boots. They literally have the giweli thing for check. Miss, which one you use more? Miss, you say fa. We find out that fa, the lanting, a lot of people are PG, because Leela kept insisting, Leela Vernon. People, I said fa, the fa me this, the fa me that, then we hear it in part of the rural too. So we really had to check, no internet in days. So we did do it the way the first English dictionary get make, which was like 30 years of people they send in slips, then they put it on one peg and then decide which one we are standardized, because we can't put all 15 ways people say. And then print A to E. That come out like 1936. Then later then do F to something as then keep the check. And now after most in 1940 yard, 50 yard, now you have second edition every 10 years, third edition on online every year update. Yeah. So that are the approach we take. How you make a dictionary. Well, we never all know what we do. Sir Calvin Young, the premier linguist we going, say, let's get help. Yeah. He got the SIL linguistics group to come in, voluntary, help us. And so they made this one of their missions, and that's how we get some linguistic expertise who were available. We had Calvin Young, we had Roy Caetano with Garifuna and others, but we needed people available who were just dedicated to this. Got a lot of checking, no internet like with the second edition. And then from that glossary now, and so we changed the spelling system. We tweaked it in 2002. Because first we made a bit to English. We made it say, well, English got like 11 ways to make the long O sound. Let's just use 3. But you still needed to know English first for learning. And down the road, when my grand picnic, I hope everything come out okay. Grand picnic, hopefully, or the one in a Belize, when they in a school, they read and write when in here at home. So they don't know one system. You want you want it from scratch. Right now, all these materials we have, Renee, they're for transitional primers. To help people who don't talk Creole, but say it's hard for read, but you have to learn the symbols. No baby learn for talk and no for read. You have to go to school or your math teacher where symbol represent what song. But in this crazy English, because of the way English form, this global language we have now, that where the language come from.
What my son they say?
What my son say? And you know hard for read, right? So in most of the world's languages, of the 7,000 plus, maybe 2,500 have a written form. 2,500 plus 1, now with Belize Kriol, right? So imagine that. People still communicate, but the languages are dying. What do you do when languages die? I have that book somewhere. That's my big
can
motivation.
read and write Kriol.
So we decide we do what UNESCO suggests, what the world's best readers do. They work with one sound, one symbol. Their language is one that has the closest one sound. There's only one symbol. Unlike English, long O. Look how many ways to write long O. Rope, R-O-P-E. Though, T-H-O-U-G. Boat, B-O-A-T. Tooth, T. You know, all kind of ways to do long O or the U song, whichever. So we said one song, one symbol.
But before we continue along the line there, so you got me to talking to you in a Kriol now, like everything.
Kriol for this part.
Yeah, before we continue along the line there, the whole Kriol may start again.
All right, so that time the orthography or writing system we don't really get into. But how the language start? Kriol, there are 4 theories, but the one that all linguists subscribe by is the in situ, in the situation of. You got this white man, well, he was white, from England. Remember that person now may not have been the most educated Englishman, you know. The who they may owe favors to, so they send him for head one colony. So he come. If he may come from like Devon or Liverpool or so, one of them place, he might say, is my mom that? Is my dad that? Is that where our me for personal pronoun came from? Perhaps. But most importantly, that owner of enslaved people would have said things in however accent of English he said it in, or region of English, where I say, chop the tree now, or some such. Well, you on one slave plantation in Belize alone, you had enslaved Africans from 12 different language backgrounds. They themselves couldn't understand each other. The Igbo, the Chui, the Yoruba, the Ashanti. Yes, they couldn't understand each other.
Yeah.
All right, so imagine now, chop tree. Nobody move. Nobody know what a tree. Nobody know what a chop.
Yeah.
And I know chop in my Igbo language. You know chop in yours, so we can talk to each other. Say, but the man they calling the whip now, and he pipe on the tree, so we know tree, and he give it the thing for chop it, so we know chop. We get to understand this action that chop, and that thing that tree. But how would they think? Remember some are with me, big people in Africa when they take we make slave.
Of course.
All right, we had good sense. So the West African family.
They tell you my code I'm a royalty. Anyway, go ahead. Go ahead.
Good. Anyway, the West African family languages, our enslaved people, many from West Africa, right? The way you think, the way you process, the way your syntax, you put things make sense, was very different from English. In fact, diametrically opposed to English. English to think behind the verb. There are languages that think front of the verb. There are languages, if you don't establish past tense, you don't keep marking it. It's redundant, really. Like you're doing in English. Or keep your ed on the verb. Be consistent. But if you're not Creole, I say, I may visit you last week. Me in front of the verb means past tense. I may visit you last week. All right? It's very easy when you learn the rules, right? I may visit you last week. I eat up lot of food, and I have to say, I may eat up lot of food, I may dance, I may kiss you. I don't tell you that me last week I gone. So I have to put the, what in English would be, I ate, I danced. I have to keep marking for past tense. This feature doesn't exist in many languages, all right? Chinese language does not conjugate. Wo shi lao shi. Sorry, my accent, my thing. I am a teacher. I don't know much Chinese. That shi, S-H-I, however I'm saying it wrongly. Well, shi, lao shi. That shi doesn't vary. I could say we are teachers. It's still woman shi, lao shi. All right? We are. So it doesn't vary. Most of the world's languages don't conjugate. Spanish does. English does. But notice Spanish orthography spelling system, one song make one symbol. All right? So in this situation, so you have all these enslaved people, they have to understand English. But then they marry the word then and they grab, change the pronunciation because the tongue, this is a muscle. So if I don't know to make a song, I can't just start making it and I'm a big adult. Like when I worked at Taiwan for a while there.
Yeah, that's why you got accents, huh?
The and or even the pronunciation, like fish and rain. That was song me can't tell you the difference in a Chinese. The and something like that. But if I around the table and they ask me what you want, the meat or the chicken, the J or the and I said the but I just say rain, They want to know the fish I mean, because we're around the table, so context work. My point there is that many of the world's languages don't have this conjugation where English have. So anyway, at that time, what happened with the Kriol, it started as a pidgin. It started as, the late Simon Kwan? He still was using pidgin English. Not in disrespect to my great friend Emily, it was a fact because he spoke Chinese to his wife and at home and his compatriots. And he knew just enough, and his children, of course, were born here. They all speak Creole, English. So he never needed after that. And basically, in the very beginning, at least Emily, in the very beginning, I remember when you go there, it would say, bring now one, or something like that. That's more, it's not yet evolved into a full language, right? So that's how a Creole started, as pidgin.
So you're talking about pidgin, P-I-D-G-I-N.
Yes, the pidgin. So then it evolves when you have your first native speaker. You have Creole has now evolved from a pidgin to a language. That's when you're showing syntax instead of go now me, or yesterday, go. So, or they say go, but I know it's yesterday because I know it's yesterday we're gone. Now I have something in the language. I'm me gone yesterday. I'm me dance. Me became the past tense marker, but it's pre-verbal. Because that's how West African languages do it. So Haitian Creole, which is based on like a French background. Creole languages are classified by English lexified, English-based, if you will, French-based, Spanish, Portuguese, papiamento. So what that means is about 70 to 80% of your vocab came from that language, but your grammar very different. Yeah. And all the Creole types, all right, there's 75 million people who alone will speak our English-based Creole, in different ways, like Jamaican and so, right? Different markers. So they're not just we that Belize. And so, but with the Haitian Creole, we have French-based, and come from the French. The grammar system that is same in terms of structure, it happened before. Yeah. So in a Creole language, a marker is everything pre-verbal for indicate tense. At the dance, I am dancing. All right. Amid dance, I danced. Amid the dance, I was dancing. Past progressive. The thing got grammar.
I don't dance.
I don't dance. That's the past. What you call done? I don't do it.
I'm finished with it.
I am finished with it. Right. And so it has a grammar. It has a system. How you form plural in a Creole? English say, one boy, two boys. Yeah. In Creole, one boy or two boy. And if you want to say, if you do the two, you don't need the plural marker because you don't know that two. English say you have to double mark it.
It's not two boys. That two boy.
That two boy. Now, suppose I say, watch the boys. Say that in a Creole. Watch the boys.
Look on the boy there.
The boy there. The EHN, after the verb, is the plural marker. The, front and a noun, is THYE, THEY, the pronoun. All right, plural subjective pronoun. They. Then going. They're going.
And they gone.
Then gone. They went. Go is the only Creole verb that conjugates. Yeah. No other verb conjugates. Go, gone, but no other verb. So. What am I going to say? That's in your moment, Renee, sometimes just go.
You have to beat and not beat up.
Yeah. It's pre-verbal. All right? It happens before the verb. So when people say, but Creole any which way, or you could...
You can't make mistake in a Creole and say.
You can. I could say, well, I did me the go is not a mistake. Did that one emphatic use in Creole, even though it come from English. But you could say, like Seferino Coleman used to like joke like this, is the tell you. Yeah. All right, that's not Creole, I did tell you, right? You don't need the is. Yeah. But he used to do it as joke. And then time we named the talk Creole language. Yeah. But he, in his own way.
That's a style.
Yes, exactly. It had a style. So, once this Creole farm now, how we can keep alive? How can we still talk it? How can they not beat it out away? How can the teachers, some of them, still correct the same grammatical mistakes in English from day 1 till farm 4? Because we need to tap in one solution, tap into the metacognition, tap into tell the people about the Garifuna language and Creole language and structured language. Then they transition to English metacognitively. Then we make the corrections. Yeah. But you say, oh, but Sylvanna, how come me, Renee, you, Sylvanna, Ava, this one, how come no I learn perfect English without this system of tapping into Creole metacognition, grammar? What we made to do? Read. We used to have Reader's Digest contest. Yes. You know, once you learn the phonics of English and you start read and you check when the pronunciation, easy for the now with the tools of the internet. Yeah. You don't even need to teach after that in terms of build your vocab. Because English that way you have to do. That's why spelling bee in English good. What spelling bee in Creole only good in the beginning. You ever hear Norwegian spelling bee or this spelling bee? Because of one song, one symbol. Yeah. So if you want to do a bee in Creole, you want to do a translation bee. All right? Because you want meaning-based translation.
Yeah. Say it in a Creole, tell me what it means in English. Say it in Creole, and then you can tell me what it means in English.
Or like Dennis Barrow one time, 1991, we did all the research where they tried to say Creole in the court system. You know, you must talk English when you go to a doctor and court back then. Well, this boy me terrified, and what he say, I might have used this example on your show one morning when we made launch a dictionary. So Dennis Barrow, in there, we did it, no thing. It's in the Spare 1991 or 1990 report magazine. He said, the boy terrified. He may push a brother Belcan Bridge, me just not too long bill, and he pushed the 14-year-old, pushed the 12-year-old, something like that by accident. He said in the river. So it never there too far. So the judge. Delisle Innes, I think he's dead now too.
So Clifford Delisle Innes, may he rest in peace.
May he rest in peace. He said, but why did you go to your brother instead of your father, I'm paraphrasing, when the accident happened, if it was an accident? Why did you go? The boy looked, he's terrified, so he only did think Creole, at least that's our theory. And he watched Dennis Barrow, whether I'm the liar for him. Dennis Barrow said, if I may, Your Honor, and he translate for the boy. Why you gone to your pa instead of your brother when so and so? The boy said, oh, I gone there right so, sir. And so Dennis Barrow, the judge looked perplexed. Dennis Barrow said, he went there right so. Right so? The judge said. Dennis Barrow said, let me further translate. He went there for no particular reason. Yeah. So it's not just word for word you to translate. All right? If I want to say, that boy is very big. In Creole, I could say that boy big, because that's how we do very in Creole. You pretty, you're handsome.
You're only big. You do a lot of big, extra big.
That's why, right. That boy only big, but I could also be even more rootsy Creole. I said that boy big, no mix.
That's true.
All right. So when you translate, that's why when I said translated by, it's very important. Because I could you have to have a translator would just translate literal. And capture the soul of the original. That's why I love Ivory Kelly. Because Ivory Kelly, when she translate, it try translate not just word for word. But Ivory Kelly also they start one new thing. Her Pengerang. Her book Pengerang,
yeah.
All right, in Creole, a lot of it in Creole.
Yeah,
this Pengerang book, sorry, I made it, do something and I drop on it. Some of it in Creole, some right. That Pengerang book, she created a new thing we have to think about now, as more people to write in Creole. Mahogany Gal. Yeah. All her Creole. Then use the dictionary. This is the beauty, Renee. And it's free online, and now we have an app. We did a press release for the app shortly. The app come out 2 days ago.
With your Creole dictionary?
Yes. So you could go right now on your Android. This is the second one. Yeah. But you could, and the ministry have it free on 501 Academy. Anybody could get it. But a lot of people still like buy. We only got like 10 copy left. We have to reorder. Because people want it. They want to touch it. But it's free on 501 Academy. Belize, Kriol, Creole Dictionary for Android. You just go to Google Play Store, free. And then you think pretty, P-R-E-T-T-Y. You just type that and you say P-R-I-T-I come up. No, I still want to test it before I do the press release and we circle it next week. So you to get groundbreaking. But they also then the way we got for this week, right? But basically, what happens if you think, I'm an English speaker. I don't know Creole spellings. Let's say I come from somewhere and I want to write, or a Belizean who doesn't know the spelling. And you say pretty, but you spell it P-R-I-T-Y. That no spell so in a Creole, the P-R-I-T-I. What will the app do? We just get the news that we linguist friend finished the app, so I not test it to that level yet, so I could put that in the press release. What to do if you're a Creole, but you don't know for spell Creole, or you don't take the time for learn, and you put it in the app. But this is exciting that we have one app for Android only, not for iPhone.
Okay.
How we get to that, Renee? Oh, the talk about ivory. Look at Borley and the slick James gang. Most like in English, but watch James. This
A-Y-M-Z.
so long A that always AY. Saute tomorrow. Spell saute. Sorry. If I tell you the symbol for long A is always AY. Spell saute.
Saute, S-O-T-E-E.
The symbol for the long A sound is always AY.
S-O-T-E-Y.
T-A-Y. Saute.
Saute, S-O-T-A-Y, yeah.
It's always AY. James, J-A-Y-M-S. Late, L-A-Y-T. What is your fate in life? Your fate was to marry Miss Sue and stay in love. Fate, F-A-Y-T.
What triggered all this interest in the Creole language and led you to be what you are today, a passionate advocate for the Creole language?
The belief and understanding scientifically that Creole is a language. Creole and not broke up English. That number one.
What year you start to realize?
1986, 87 with Professor Waldman.
You tell me about Professor Waldman.
With Haitian Creole. So now all of a sudden here's somebody.
After Professor Waldman,
I
you
came
come
back
to
to Belize and there was a man doing a magazine, 1989. He's dead now. Everybody dead now. What a magazine me name? Belize something. And the late Dean Lindo was doing this Creole column in Beacon. Basically had a Creole column, ad hoc spelling. But I remember thinking, approaching them and saying, listen, there must be one way we could write this, because I come back fired up with Haitian Creole. And Haitian Creole, you know, Haiti is the country that got the first independence in the region. And look at Haiti today, the struggle. They're the country that had their codification, the writing system of their Creole language the first. But, you know, the first generation, like I just hear AOL going out of style, right? The first generation always gets improved. So what Haitian Creole did was they ended up with 3 competing writing systems. The media used one, the churches used one, the education system used one. I don't know if that's the current case today. I'm not follow it up yet. But we never want that. So in 89, I come back and I spoke to some people and I said, you know what? Why we not just avoid that system? We only got so much Libita people. Make we got one system. We spoke with Professor Hubert Devonish, Jamaica Language Unit. They tried to do the same thing for what they now call Jamaican, or used to be called Patois. And he said, you know, we keep saying the schools have to do the schools. The schools are one way to popularize. There's the media. There is reaching out. There are many other ways to popularize. Poets, people are singing in Creole. Let's try and capture that. And so we went, okay, we tried push with ministry, and ministry, in fact, supported both ministers, Honorable Francis, Honorable Patrick. It has transcended color in Belize, Renee, this Creole thing. That's so heartwarming to the heart of Myrna and me, the late Myrna. But anyway, Professor Devonish, he all excited, going through the same struggle in Jamaica, and we start make the links. Guyanese, Charlene Wilkinson, same thing with Guyanese Creole. And we realized this thing began, we now a regional thing. No, you want hurry say, so why we not come up with one orthography for the region?
No, you can't.
Maybe, but you're right. That just like we have with Garifuna, with Creole, and you just need to know the symbol. Yeah, you just need to know South Nicaragua.
Actually, the closest thing, I just mentioned Nicaragua. You take the word of a boat. No. Because the closest thing to we Creole is Nicaragua.
It really is. Closer than Jamaican. Yeah, so when I got to Nicaragua, through the late and the Palacio, by the way, the late great, he went to, because you had a lot of people in Orinoco, all Garifuna, then they do the Ereba, the cassava thing, everything in the Rugoma, they squeeze it. But nobody, they talk the Garifuna, except for words like Rugoma and Egi and certain set words. They don't talk it. And they're Garifuna to the bone, doing everything like Hopkins Village. So they got, I don't know how, and the P, but somehow through Roy Caetano and the Palacio. I think Roy was with the Ministry of Education. And anyway, they got and the P there. And he is a hero. He was a hero when I got there in 2004. Yes, always. But he got them realizing their Garifuna is to be proud of. And that there is a way we could write it. We have a Garifuna dictionary, right? And so Then the Creole people, because they all spoke Creole, Bluefields and Island Carn, because they have Spanish. So we say Carn, they say Carn. Because it's Spanish influence, right? Their official language. They wanted to see Belize Creole, how we did get one writing system. But they decided to go with a next set of symbols, more like Jamaica symbols. Even though they sound more like we. But it's 4 symbols different from ours. Everything else the same. And then they wrote all these lovely things in Bluefields Creole. Yeah. But the beauty of that is when I arrived there in the small plane now, okay, it's like the tropic type plane, right? When you get there from Managua. The first thing I hear, because I learned Spanish at the hair from Managua, right? First thing I hear when I get off the little airstrip, like Kikaka, I want taxi from Plainfield. Plainfield would be where we'd say the airstrip. Airstrip, right. And I said, you sound like me? He said, and where you come from? Or something like that, right? So, and that's when I realized this is why this is why Huracan University invited me. They sound like we.
But you know the commonality, you know the history.
Detroit, Jill doing a lot.
You know the history.
I know that.
A lot of people, whether they're Belize right now, come from Bluefields, Nicaragua. Yes. The commonality of the story is that the Mosquito Kings were crowned at St. John's Cathedral because they were pro-British. They had a similar history like ours. I think their flag even have a piece of the Union Jack emblazoned in it or somewhere, right? And so when the Mosquito Coast was returned to Nicaragua, then they left and a lot left and came to Belize to live in Belize. I think over 2,000, like you were saying. Right.
And actually, Renee, I don't know if it would be Mesquite.
So there's a lot of commonality between here and La Mesquite. In
fact, my good friend.
The north coast of Honduras, the whole north coast of Honduras speaks Creole too.
Yes, and then you have Colon, and then you have Costa Rica, Panama have their areas, sound just like we. Little differences because of their Spanish official language, right?
Roatan,
yes.
You know, Puerto Cortes, all these areas spoke English. Tela.
Parts of the Seychelles Islands in the Indian Ocean, parts in North Australia, Taka Creole, similar to we, right? So it's fascinating. In other words, that wherever from West Africa coast, the enslaved peoples drop along the Atlantic. May force for come, right? Along the Atlantic and interact with either French, English, Spanish. Like Aruba, Curacao, they speak Papiamento, all right? Sranan, spoken in Suriname. They're all Creole languages.
So you do all of the tours, Sylvanna?
Not all, but a few of them, right?
So you did the Nicaraguan tour.
I do Nicaragua. Where I want to go, that Gola. Gola, that's South Carolina.
Okay.
South Carolina, again, think about the coast. So the enslaved people, they come where the ship that they drop and where they... So the South Carolina Islands talk Gola. Gola have the Bible in Creole, song very similar to we. The spelling system, they use A where we use A, but what you learn that. And I want to go there. That's my next quest.
Okay.
And then Sierra Leone.
Africa. Now, going back to your story now, right? You became interested in all of this. You visited various countries and whatever, but you never tell me about your doctorate and how you achieved that and how you went through that. If all the linguistics were part of you doing a doctorate, if that was your thesis, I don't know. Tell me.
Well, they say when you got a doctorate, you are an expert in that, but probably not got much common sense in other things, right? So I don't really push my doctorate except in academic circles where it helped for credibility. All right, but my doctorate was my life passion. I enjoyed every second of it. I'm a winner. I pat myself one excellence award because of the depth of it.
The university?
Nova Southeastern. It was through UB and Nova Southeastern and the faculty. The faculty paid a third who got it, and university I think paid a third and Nova paid a third. There was some agreement, and for the doctorate. And basically, I don't think the university paid. I think they enabled it. Whatever it was. But I got my doctorate in 2012, began in 2007, the week that he died. So I skipped the first day. The late Sean Raybon's dad died the day before. Both of us were in it. And I tell you, Renee, all of a sudden, I had a reason for all my life's work. I could now prove it or support it, as you say in research. So I did action research. the late Geraldine Tillett, she's dead now, I could say her name, and 2 other teachers agreed to be my control group and my experimental groups. Can't say the subjects' names. One was an IT vet, and you know, the warmest thing, the thing that make I know this thing solid, is a guy at the Votech place. His experimental group, we called it at the time, he was getting 30 in English. That was the highest he got, 30. The guy quiet, innocent, nothing. And the teacher who had agreed to come on board and do the training, learn the system, because it was Kriol metacognition. You want to teach them English? Teach them about Kriol first, these Kriol speakers. Well, my boy, one day we used the thing about the gecko, the story. We would do the thing in Kriol, do translation, and do other techniques in teaching ESL. Well, we're doing KSL. I call it Kessel. Kriol to English as a second language. I call my thing Kessel. And this little boy, when I went in, I had to go observe, and so I'm in the observing class one day. This boy, I don't know quiet, talk, me say. I did share the story, Mr. share about the gecko. And when the gecko, George Gabb gave us that story, or Nicholas Pollard Sr. When the geckos are good to have because they, have cockroach, all right? And the gecko put the tongue out. So we had in the Kriol section, it's in the back, you can read and write Kriol. Adapted from where Gaffey said 1997, because we've had this where we Gaffey say article from then. One good helper. So the gecko, that one lizard will look yellow in a color. In fact, the gecko almost want look see-through. You could nearly see right through and through his body. But I know the color was so interesting about the gecko, that the fact that cockroach never live long around the gecko, etc., etc. And he talk about when the gecko upside down walk and when he long out the tongue. The Lee boy were quiet. When not talk, never. Live on Mahogany Street. The Lee boy, me live then. Jump up, raise your hand. Miss, you're wrong. Everybody shocked. First of all, if we even tell Mr. Wrong, right? But Mr. Wrong, my granny said the gecko push out him out. Not long out the tongue. Push out him. And granny know best.
Yes. Jack, you can't quarrel with granny.
Well, we can't get a boy shut up after that because he became the expert. The teacher who was trained, she said, Miss Lucy, she said, what a smart boy. Now tell me that in English. Because now we have to translate. Well, the boy start and he said, and then he said, but remember you need your ES for English. You know when that semester of intervention finished, that boy reached 58. You might say it's still not 70, but you gone from 30 to 58. You know that boy and his confidence in the talk. That's what we want, Renee. People are proud. I want to cry and all. This is you asked me about my motivation. When you see that come a teacher thought, when you see that picnic, like bulb command, like a command for me on a bus to Mexico. That Kriol, that more than just bastard English. I read that no bastard English. I realized this is the point of this work. Because they make people with Kriol people. So people say, the dictionary needs accent marks because I'm a Belizean in the diaspora. And when I look at a word like, give me a 2-syllable word, baka, is it baka or baka? The Kriol person I know how to say it. This, our motivation, me, Lila, Myrna, everybody, was for Kriol people. We don't talk Kriol, we say Kriol bad. It's not bad. And you could read and write it if you take 2 minutes. All right, for learn the system. So now the one in the diaspora, yes, we're glad you're interested. Can they learn it from Granny? Granny dead. We have Miss Julie. Oh my gosh, she's one of the best diaspora Belizeans. She corrects some of the things there for I need to get them on the committee. Basically, it needs accent marks. Because if you have uyayay, all right, uyayay, come pick me, comb nanly uyayay back of your neck. See your cameraman, they smile, right? Yeah. That croffic hair do that, right? You talk about uyayay.
And uyayay bridge too.
Yes, as well. Uyayay. Because maybe say uyayay. Anyway, that means the late Geraldine tell you about uyayay. Now, if you just say uyayay, UYA or the W variant, is it uyayay? Uyayay? We Kriol one, no.
Uyayay one.
Exactly. But a foreigner learning Kriol, but this is not written for the foreigner. I had one Jamaican. They do a doctoral thing. They rail up with me because he can't know for pronounce the thing for his doctoral study. I said, sir, you know what? If you want to volunteer, you could come and sit down and do all the accent marks for us. We tell you how we sound. All right, in the software. Our focus was with Creole people. We understand it could jump to our next level. But I want dead by the time and get for do all the other things so that that for people where no know for say the word. So yeah, you don't have accent marks, you don't have the syllabication, but it can. We need some volunteers.
We will have the final portion of our discussion with Sylvanna Udz as she shares the way forward. But first, we take a break to hear from our partners, Del Martin, Silkgrass Farm, The Barry, and Minister Kevin Bernard.
And me. But guess what? All are we the one. See what I mean?
Introducing Silkgrass Farm's cold pressed juices. 100% natural with zero additives, no added sugar, made only from the freshest fruits. Silkgrass Farms, pure, fresh, sustainable.
Debari is your one-stop store of choice. We have an array of electronics and accessories to keep you connected. Your home will be the envy of your friends when you choose from a wide variety of household appliances. We can help you dress the entire family in style and comfort with our selection of clothing and footwear. Visit our store on Albert Street in Belize City, San Pedro, La Isla Bonita, Park Street in Orange Walk Town, Belmopan, and San Ignacio, Santa Elena. Debari, get more, pay less.
Well, my name is Wilson Perez, better known as Chato. I'm the organizer and the president of the New Horizons Sporting Club. In 2022, we had the award and the sponsorship, full sponsorship from the Minister of Health. And now it is the fourth year that he is year after year sponsoring the tournament, and then it is something that has facilitated and eased the job for me, so that I could have a easier and tournament and organizing, when it comes to the Mundialito, which is a tournament that exists for the 22 years in Orange Walk, being the oldest district with the tournament. From that is a tournament that we do to keep kids out of the streets, to help them, to keep them in positive activities. We have to give credit where it's due, and we have to applaud and thank these people who do the initiative, have the initiative, and help the people and the youth to grow in whatever skills they have.
Celebration time. It don't matter what part of the jewel they come from. You da you and me da me. But guess what? All are we the one.
Sylvanna, you do so much in the promotion of the Creole language, right? And I've enjoyed so much listening to some of the things that you walked us through, right? And the moments in your life. And I have really admired the passion with which you address this subject. You can see whatever you do comes from the heart. Let's look at some of the other works before we continue.
Thank you, Rene. I want to really mention about the religious outputs. Yvette Herrera, Nicole Bembridge, Andrea Young Rodriguez, working with Wycliffe and the Caribbean on getting out the New Testament, because what we have that the Old Testament, what we have that the New Testament in a Creole.
I remember the New Testament my lunch. I remember that at lunch.
Bible.
I'm a read piece of it too.
Actually, Rene, you are the voice of God on the audio, because the New Testament also you could hear the audio as you see the writing.
Yeah.
So that's a teaching tool too for the orthography.
I mean, I learned when that's supposed to be the voice of God. I said, wow.
And Bishop Wright. The Anglican Bishop Wright is a voice too on it, and so is Terry Gordon, Myrna, myself. I had one somebody. So it had famous people on it, yourself included. But notice the New Testament in a Belize Creole, free on Bible.is. This that the gullah de. Notice where we use the I, then use the E.
Yeah.
Where we use NYOO for oo, they use an
NYEW.
but you just learn their symbol for the vowels, and it's only the vowels, but it's the same Bible. All right. Paul and Silas gone the debris first, and then they gone to Lystra, which part they meet one believer when in Timothy. For him, that me one believer too. She that me Jew, but the part that me Greek. They believe, etc., etc. All right. So we could worship God when they say and they mocked Jesus. Yvette always gives this example. She said, you know, can they do from exegesis, which is how the original Greek have it translated. And all right, so you translate Bible.
Yeah.
So Yvette study for do that. And and so you just say, and then take Jesus, make Papi show. No, Lord, man, that reach you more than, you know. God understand with Kriol language. Exactly. All right. So in fact,
with you on that?
When the Baptists had their pre-emancipation thing this year, I made those on Galatians reading about spiritual freedom. All right. So we have that. And then we have people like Andrea Young Rodriguez, the best success story that you could teach yourself Kriol with the dictionary. She come up with her calendar and she put Lee thing about like the tea set with Brook Band tea and the other fun things.
Remember Brook Band tea?
Well, she like bring back a whole thing. Yeah. Now, she come from famous people, you know. Understand I'm a third cousin. I know understand I'm a third cousin, right? I'm a man, her mother, second cousin. Her father, the late Fallet Young.
Okay.
Yes, so you know she the roots, right? But before that, up until 2014, 2015, we used to come out with our own dictionary, our own calendar. And at times we may get like Brothers Habit, sponsor, all right? And they would help us and sponsor and other people. So, this calendar, you want it in a digestible format. You can't just get long text for read. We hard for read. So we have the regular column.
I remember the calendar. Go ahead.
The regular column on in Reporter every week, where we got to say, which are like commentary. And see where we try though. The funny thing now where we say, this one the riddles. This one then a thing for make we get better, medicinal thing.
Yeah.
All right, soup. All right. And then we had one with stew meat. And from doing the stew meat one, because before you put a recipe with stew meat, like how for cook stew meat, the Creole stew this, stew that, every month and different stew chicken, stew. We have to actually make it. So each we had a task for make it. Me, Yvette, everybody. For make sure we don't miss one step. Because you know, they tell you, just do this and I forget to tell you one step. Well, we get this stew pigtail recipe from Miss Jenny from Boom.
Stewed pigtail.
And to that day, Renee,
staple in everybody's house.
I make the best stew pigtail in the world. I know the boss say right so. I do. Everybody say. Even Miss Jenny before he migrate the States say. And when you hear Sylvanna, I can't cook good. I can make 3 things. And when you hear the make stew pigtail, all of a sudden my friend then come out of the woodwork.
Well, me not taste it yet.
Well, right. So
you have to invite me for taste that stew pigtail.
I do the defatted version. I do all kind of version, and I can't tell you my secret ingredient. But my sister, then when you hear the make stew pigtail, all of a sudden the one that couldn't come to your house, all of a sudden they show up with friend too.
Oh yeah.
Yes. So well, I do make the best.
When you make stew pigtail again.
And give on holla.
Yeah.
So Andrea now has her thing, accoutrements. And accoutrements actually has a whole range of Creole things. Bible things, non-Bible things, bags, empty crocus bag, can't stand up. You know, you could buy bags with all the correct Creole. She taught herself. Well, when I meet you in a funeral and we realize with a family, 3 years ago, you know, I quick fast and hurry beg and be on the committee, and she is one of the editors of the 2nd edition. And hopefully she have accoutrements and she have all kind of thing, word of the day. She really good, Andrea. If I can't do one thing, they ask me, do I beg she do. If then they pay me for do one thing, you know, the foreigners come sometimes and they want to pay for, and I can't, I ask she go, because I know I could trust she, Yvette. Then they learn it, they know it. Well, Yvette are the leader, right? So then a good thing. Adelia Young from UB, she's a math teacher. Because Miss Adelia love the Creole, she the culture to her backbone. She basically teach herself. And then she start teach people. This is the beauty of when you got one song, one symbol, generally. 1 or 2 lead changes. No? For reflect, for example, nasalization. Jamaica copied this from, not copied, told us they would use it from us. That song we make like awango, konya, kon make a show you, kon make a show you. How you write kon? So HN represents that nasal song. So you could say kom, K-O-M, kon, you know the kom. Come, I say, for emphasis.
Look at man, you hear yourself, konya? Konya, man, konya.
So how you represent that? How you represent that?
Uh-huh.
We are using the symbol HN. A symbol can be two letters. So we are using the two letters HN for the symbol of nasalization.
Yeah. Instead of come here, it's
konya. So, something. I could say something or more Creole something. Well, Jamaica, in finishing up the codification of Jamaican, which was called Patois before, and still is by some, they said we didn't have any symbol to represent that distinct Creole song Jamaicans make. So they use HN now in their latest. So we have contributed. We contribute, Belize Creole, they contribute to Creology, to the study of Creole languages.
And I got to say, I admire the passion where you got for this thing. Right.
And so you could get the Bible free online, and we have various free stuff online about the Bible. With the New Testament, with just the Old Testament, so far we bring out the book of Jonah, so we bring it out in little pieces first. Yvette then they work on that. So the Old Testament will be codified in one volume, just like the New Testament, when you're ready, and it will be free, thanks to Bible.is.
The book of Jonah.
Yes. So,
oh Lord, when I feel my life the slip away from me, I prayed to you, and you hear me from in your holy temple.
See, you know how, especially if you speak it, you get for recognize the symbols. Interestingly, YMCA, me do one, and it's online too. You could look it up on YouTube. Me do one summer course workshop about two summers ago, and it was called the Bilingual Way. I me design it. Dr. Clara Quare said, "They're picking no dumb. They are some of the smartest children. I know your system will help them." You know, we went this summer, and this one boy in the class for the summer class, everything I try teaching don't know. When we do a league game, I have to do a lot of games and so with the younger ones. Go to the board and who first right, he get all the one correct. Some of them they got WA, some they make kind of just learn it. WAHN. What's the difference with wa and wa? One that will miss and one that want. One that also, I said, young man, let's stop the class. You could teach this class. How come you know so much, Trevor? I think he named Trey. He said, oh, I then a Jehovah Witness, I'm a Jehovah Witness. Every Sunday at Bible school, then got where they read the Bible in Kriol, and he used the same writing when they use. The Jehovah's Witness, they have everything in the different languages for their evangelizing. And basically, they said a system exists, so they use our system. They have more. So I'm trying to point out that young man Trey, from YMCA, Trey, he taught by osmosis, by reading every week, he got to now learn to spell the Creole because of a belief he has, the Jehovah Witness. So the Catholics don't really come along, although some at St. Martin's and do it. A lot like the Baptists, Pastor Rock, they follow the Creole, open door, they read in Creole from time to time and often. The Catholics, as I said in Daddy's book, which is a book I helped Daddy finish on the history of Catholic Roman Catholic evangelization in Belize, Years of Grace. He died and me and Alexander Bennett finished it off. And in it, I inserted, of course, a chapter about how the church has dealt with Creole over the years, right? Compared to how you had Bishop Wright. Every so often, when Myrna died, he made sure he said a thing in Creole, sent in a thing in Creole. Yeah. He's a voice on the Creole thing. And you know, interestingly enough, it's the Jesuits in the history of evangelization who first said, the Jesuits who came and said, it's hard to evangelize. We have to learn Maya. We have to capture the Maya, the Garifuna, and this other thing they talk. They were some of the first supporters, interestingly enough, of recognizing this thing we talk is different from English.
We could go to the future of the council, Sylvanna, and all of this work we do.
The future of Creole. I'm so glad you asked that question. One thing I get to realize, Renee, my left and my right arms, I say, have died. Myrna and Leela. Mm-hmm. Them that made two way really had me to go. If I can still ball when I think about them, that then wake up dead. Mm-hmm. But we have a dynamic new council. And the Myrna may recruit the new president in terms of getting all gung-ho about the Creole spelling. Wilford Felix, the current young, then a youth with the talk about, president of the Creole Council, teach yourself for read and write Creole from the dictionary. So this make you get cold seed, goose pimples, the English say, because this is how things sustain. You can't force somebody for one love or learn. So, and he blends it with the sambai drum and the whole culture thing. So you have Brad Patico doing the Brockdown and that kind of troubadour, that Creole thing. You have the late Peters and the current boom and chime, the Flowers Bank boom and chime. But you also have the sambai. So Creole has many. Emet is a big one, right? The godfather there. So what I'm saying is the current Creole Council. They care forward the culture and the language as part of the culture. The Vice President, Kriol, joined one online short class on you can read and write Creole that was pioneered. And so basically, this is the future. The future there with we right now. It's there online. If you have Android, here it is. Belize Creole Dictionary on Google Play for Android. Kriol, it comes up. And Renee, one of the things to understand when people say, but it's not English or it's going to hurt their English. No, metacognition. It will make them compare. It will make them do what most of the world do when you teach them to read and write in a language they come to school speaking. And then transition to whichever other language, English, Spanish. English is changing. Is English changing? This is no longer the English of English. English is changing. Why? Because you have billions speaking English as a second language because of globalization, where before we didn't. We didn't. So they are changing. So David Crystal, who wrote this book, by the way, is it? Yeah. He's the guru of English. What's his latest thing? McDonald's. I'm loving it. Not I love it. And he points out that is coming from your, I don't know that McDonald's says it's coming, but in Indian English. India from India, when they speak English. Do you know René Villanueva? Yes, I am knowing him. Is a very common way of you might want to call it overuse of the present progressive instead of the simple present.
Yeah, particularly in Africa. But go ahead.
All right. But also in India, right? And basically, yes, I am knowing him, I'm knowing him. Well, what it does is it brings it up front in your face. All right, so McDonald's, not just I love it, I'm loving it. So I'm constantly loving it for McDonald's purposes. Yeah. That tense, that overuse, it's a part of one of the Englishes. You have Malaysian speakers now. All right, you have Malaysian speakers, Taiwanese speakers. So part of my research in Taiwan was actually, I call it TEAS, Taiwan East Asian Standardizing English. I published in it and all. And basically, we're shaping it. The Japanese, East Asian, right? Japanese, Taiwanese. Often in Japan, Taiwan, you say, would you like pepper? And then, oh, not paper, pepper on your food? Yes. Big or small? They mean a lot or a little. We have heavy traffic today is how you collocate in English, right? The way you join things naturally.
Heavy traffic.
Heavy. You will hear in East Asia, many places, even the most educated English second language learner in there will say something like, we have big traffic today. We have large traffic today. Who is to say 2 million people in another area wrong? Eh? Where they talk? Who for say that? If 2 million people do it, it must correct. Yeah. It must be shaping it if they do it consistently and over time. Not just today I do it this way and tomorrow I do it. So I was trying to track some of those changes in the evolving identity markers of what I was calling TEAS, Taiwanese Asian Standardizing English.
Wow. Now, Sylvanna, I'd like to know a bit about your time in Taiwan, because I know you spent about 3 years or so in Taiwan. Tell me about that.
I went to Taiwan for 1 to 3 years because my daughter had gotten a scholarship, a Taiwanese scholarship. And in her last year there, she said, Ma, guess what? I was telling my supervisor, or her overseer of her program, who happened to be the daughter of the owner, of the president of Taiwan, a private university, and Ming Chuang Dashway. Dashway means university. So Ming Chuang University. And she said, you know, they have 2 positions open because Taiwan is going 2030 to be fully bilingual in English. That was the policy. And so they wanted native speaker, people where English was the official language. Because I told them I'm dual native. I'm Creole and English. You can have dual nativism, right? And so, because growing up, they would try, school stamped out the Creole, but it still come up like grass through the cracks. And so I sent in my resume because at the same time I was reaching 55 and it was mandatory retirement at the time at UB. No longer is. It's now up to 60. But I said, And so what did I do? I went. They accepted me. I did by Skype. It was at the time. The interviews had to send up all kinds of things. And I went to Taiwan for 1 to 3 years. I stayed 7. I loved Taiwan. What I like about Taiwan, first of all, nobody thinks your language is bastard. Secondly, Taiwanese is like in the same position as Creole is to English, that diglossic, where one was perceived as better than the other. Mandarin compared to Taiwanese. It turned out Taiwanese, like Bobunde is this Taiwanese for the Taiwanese language for Megwanshi, no problem. So it's different. Just like Kriol, all right? Sauté, different from until, in kind of way. And the main thing is I got to realize I have like 14 to 16 native languages like that. And the government, in the big curriculum reform movement that Belize went through too in the late 1990s, where we got into teaching English as a second language startup, they said any community in Taiwan that has more than 100,000 speakers, well, Taiwan has 23 million people, you must provide teaching or have them exposed to their own language. And so began doing, but you see with them, they use a character system and sometimes it's the same characters but pronounced differently. So it's a different setup, right? And so I went there and I stayed 7 years. I loved the fact that you had to research and publish.
Were you still involved with the work at the Creole Council?
Yes, I never stopped sending in my articles, only 6 months when I first got. And then I continued online, sending in my articles, and in 2018, while still in Taiwan, began work online on the second edition of the dictionary by listening to Rene Villanueva morning shows. Now, remember, we did 14 hours ahead in Taiwan then time.
So you woke up in the mornings to listen?
But I used to teach nights.
Okay.
So it worked perfectly. All right? So I would watch you all in the morning, I watch you all at night.
Okay.
All right? So around my time. And I would listen to the talk shows, I would grab words. This word I got, motorcycle, was that guy, it's actually my cousin, the lawyer, Perry Feet, talking about the motorcycle there on a talk show.
So 7 years in Taiwan. I knew when you went, you were going for 3 years, like you said.
Yeah.
But you made it 7 years.
COVID catch me there too.
Yes, I remember
Right?
that too.
Yes.
You were there during the COVID.
Yes.
Well, any particular experience you can recall during COVID?
What I really remember, Rene, is when I went back. I came home one summer, and when I went back, I had to get quarantined. And for 21 days, what would I do? I started writing poetry, and I have Quarantine Chronicles, bilingual. I have somewhere to publish almost, but I came up first with my Bengside Bembe, which you know
Side
about,
Bembe,
right?
yeah. I was there when you launched that, yeah.
Yeah, so I want to get back to, now I'm back in Belize, came back like 2.5 years or so, going on 3, and I want to do more writing. I got Nora's Fire, I have the eulogists. One name where Dickie Bradley give me case. Every time I go to church lately, I see you, they do eulogy. Yeah. One spell. So I have several. Shelmadine Baby. I got that too. And then I have Quarantine Chronicles. Quarantine Chronicles ready. And part of it I talk about, and the Palacio, they do it thing across the sky, kind of up 10 floors, and the light, and I'm seeing Leela and dancing in the rhythms, murmurating with the birds. Oh my gosh, I didn't even want quarantine in. Yeah. I got so creative, Rene, and I got a little spiritual.
Oh yeah?
I got a little spiritual.
Great.
I got spiritual, and it has stayed with me.
Very good.
I know. I don't know how to explain the God thing, but I can tell you it gives a little peace when you could stop and thank God middle of the day, or thank your spiritual whoever.
Amen. That's good.
Yeah. So I got that too during quarantine. So that experience, and then Xiao Yen, my very good friend from Alisan Duguniang, the girl from Alisan. Oh my God, I talked about the Yangmingshan Mountains and how it streaked across to the rainforest of Belize. I wish I could read that poem for you one day, Renee. And I came back to Belize. And what I want to do is more writing. I do adjunct teaching for Galen University. I teach at nights some semesters, and I teach at UB adjunct sometimes, and I do workshops for JICA, the Japanese agency, like the Peace Corps for Japanese. Andrea now does for the Peace Corps. This is what we want.
Very active.
Yes, and I'm retired, I say, but retired meaning enough to punch 8 o'clock clock unless I'm on a project, right?
Yeah.
So that is a good feeling. I can wake up and listen to my talk shows. I'm a talk show junkie. So I'm back now, and I'm still collecting, working on ideas for the words input for the third edition, but trying to get people to carry that on.
Okay, so you'll continue doing this for the rest of your life, you think?
Till I wake up dead.
Okay, I like how you say it, till I wake up dead. Only in a Kriol song, you go song like that.
When I wake up dead, then that's done. My part done, but it continue.
So your life has been guided by this passion, and you know, you're fortunate because not many people can find the real passion that's inside them and actually bring it out. And you have succeeded in doing that. So I need to congratulate you and thank you so much for all the wonderful work you have done in preserving Kriol as a language. You know, I think that's very important to us as a people, as a nation, and I want to wish you the best as you continue doing so. Anything you want to leave me with?
All you need is a passion, and you just sleep. I remember I interviewed a girl once for TV, because I used to do some TV work for Belize all over, and it's the Garcia sisters doing slate carving, and she had that passion, one of them. And when I asked her something, she said, "Miss, my slate calls me. I'm sleeping and I wake up because my slate calls me to carve. The Kriol call me." I got one note pen, like I still old style, by my bed with paper, one notepad and pen. And sometimes I jump up and I think on word like the other night. I think, man, now, alone that alone, this, give me one this and that, something. I said, "What, they try to say random?"
Yeah.
I can check if we got random in the dictionary. No. Third edition. So I just start jot down thing, and that's so the second me start to. So I feel grateful. I feel thankful for my family, for my friends, for the start people like you give me, for learn, for people who correct and give advice. I just so thankful. You could learn from every student. Every student has a story to tell, Renee. When I teach adjunct at Galen, I have students online from every district interacting online because we have that platform. And you think they not talk Kriol all over. But I also learned there are few people who talk Maya and Spanish, then Kriol and English.
That's right.
There you go. So it is fascinating when you can use now the technological tools to do the app to bring people together without going wrong like Myrna and I. Sure, you lose the one-on-one sometimes, but it's the way of the world. So we use the technology, and who knows, Renee, Uno contribute to many words, right? Listening to you all the radio stations, everybody, TV, but who knows, one day when you get one word, we can even make words. Exactly. You know, like Shakespeare made moonbeam, because there was nothing to describe that, so we can make words in Kriol. So that's the next step, because we have neologisms, new things coming into English. So people, other languages, like, they just adopt it. Karaoke from Japan, we just adopt it.
So Sylvanna, I sorry I have to go, girl, but the time up.
Yeah.
Right? So as easy as that.
Well,
right?
you know, make a paraphrase, Mr. Peters, you can go, boy, but you must come back.
All right, I have to come back.
Yes, Kahina, you can go, girl, yes. And me one, if you want one little advice I want to give out, this saying I like in a Kriol. No hang your hat higher than you could reach. You know me, no aspire. Still aspire and dream, but be realistic.
That's right.
So if you want to be a pilot, you got to go do the practice. If you want to play basketball and be the best 3-pointer, you got to be on the court every day. So if you want to learn English, you got to practice English. You want to learn for read and write Kriol, you got to take a little time to practice it.
If you want to beat, you got to do it.
Yes, you got to be in it to win it.
That's right. And so, we always say, when inspired by passion and by the things we love, and we make that choice to be guided by what we love, we will always say to you, Belize and beyond.
Thanks for choose love.
For choosing love.
Celebration time. It don't matter what part of the jewel you come from. You that you and me that me. But guess what? All are we the one. See what I mean? Jump and shout all over the nation. We're breaking out with a new creation.